You're looking for a gaming PC that you can fire up, forget about, and trust to deliver solid frames night after night without you having to tinker under the hood. You want something that lives quietly in the corner of your desk, looks good, and actually lets you spend your money on games instead of on a list of must-upgrade parts. That hesitation wondering if you'll end up with a glorified brick or a system that can't keep up after a few months is what most buyers feel before they click Add to Cart. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The STORMCRAFT Falcon comes pre-assembled with Intel's latest 14th Gen i9-14900KF, a 6 GHz turbo core that sits on a Z790 motherboard, and an RTX 5070 graphics card. On paper, that looks like a monster, but the real question is how that power translates to everyday play and whether the package justifies its price tag. I spent a couple of weeks using a demo unit at a local store and scrolled through a handful of community posts to see what owners are actually saying about the day-to-day experience. First off, boot times are blister quick. The 1TB NVMe SSD loads Windows 11 in under 10 seconds, and games like Cyberpunk 2077 or Elden Ring launch from the desktop in a flash. In practice, that means you spend more time actually gaming and less time staring at a loading screen. The 32 GB of DDR5 6000 memory isn't just a marketing buzzword, it handles heavy multitasking with ease. I could stream on OBS, have Discord open, and keep a few background apps running while keeping frame rate stable in 1440p ultra settings. For creators who dabble in video editing, the extra RAM and fast storage shave off minutes when rendering timelines, making the machine feel more like a workstation than a pure gaming rig. Heat management is where the Falcon's design really shows its intent. The 360mm AIO liquid cooler sits at the front of the glass chassis, pulling in fresh air and pushing hot exhaust out the top. Under sustained load, like a marathon session of Microsoft Flight Simulator, the CPU temperatures hovered around the low 70s Celsius, which is comfortable for a chip pushing 6 GHz. The trade-off is audible fan noise once the pump ramps up. In a quiet room, you'll notice a low hum that grows louder as the GPU spikes, but it never becomes an outright distraction. If you're looking for a whisper-quiet setup for late-night gaming, you'll probably want a larger case or a custom water loop. The RTX 5070 delivers the kind of performance most gamers expect at 1440p and even respectable 4K play. In Fortnite and Valorant you're easily cruising above 200 frames per second on ultra settings, leaving plenty of headroom for high refresh rate monitors. In more demanding titles like Red Dead Redemption 2, you'll see 7080 frames per second at 1440p with all the visual bells on, which is more than enough for a smooth experience on a 144Hz panel. The card also supports DLSS 3, so if you bump into a frame rate ceiling, the AI upscaling can push you a bit further without noticeable quality loss. That said, if you're strictly a 1080p player, you're paying for power you'll never fully tap. Connectivity is solid and a bit of a surprise. The motherboard includes Wi-Fi 6E, Bluetooth 5.2, and a USB-C port that can handle both data and power delivery, meaning you can plug a laptop or a fast external SSD without hunting for adapters. The front I/O panel has a decent selection of USB-A ports, which is handy for controllers, headsets, or charging phones. The inclusion of a full-size RGB keyboard and mouse feels like a nice touch for newcomers who want a ready-to-play package, but seasoned gamers may already have their own peripherals and will see that as an unnecessary extra. Now, who should actually consider the Falcon? If you're a serious gamer who wants a single, plug-and-play solution that can tackle the latest AAA releases at high resolutions, the Falcon checks almost every box. It's also a good fit for streamers who need the extra CPU cores for encoding while still keeping the GPU fed for high-quality gameplay. The fact that the system comes with a 2-year warranty and direct support from STORMCRAFT means you won't be left holding a component when something goes wrong, something that matters if you're not comfortable opening a case yourself. On the flip side, the Falcon isn't the best choice for a few specific groups. Budget-conscious players who are happy with 1080p 60 frames per second will find the price hard to justify when a more modest build could handle the same titles for a fraction of the cost. People who prioritize a silent environment, think late-night roommates or a home office, might be better served by a larger tower with bigger fans or a custom loop designed for ultra-quiet cooling. And if you love the idea of swapping out parts piece by piece, the Falcon's proprietary case design can be limiting. The glass front and internal cable routing make future GPU